What's going on, guys? Ninja Turtles number 7. We have the Eastman cover here, and Eastman is one of my absolute favorites when it comes to the Ninja Turtles. I really am just drawn to his work, and I don't know if that's just because how used to it I am, how familiar he is to me, and if it's just like a comfort zone. But there's just something about his artwork I just always gravitate towards. So let's just get right on into it. So we have New York City versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Part 1, the Sewers of Newark. So we're over here. We got Donatello's inner monologue, and we're seeing they are just getting their asses beat by the Foot Clan. They're in the middle of New York City, and you see Donatello. He's over here he's just doing everything he can to try and grab Splinter, the little dead rat there. And so he says, he thought that they were going to die right there, and it's looking pretty bleak. But he then tells us, Master Splinter is, helping lead the way. And apparently, according to Donnie, Splinter told him to take his bow staff and throw it into one of the screens up above, and that little explosion of electricity gives him enough of a distraction to make a getaway. So they get up, they make it into the street. Raph gets hit by a car. They go ahead and borrow the car, and all the while these guys are all just fighting with one another, especially Raph and Mikey. And Leo's over here just trying to break them all up. Donnie remains silent except for his inner monologue that we're getting. So they got the car, they crashed the car. This causes like a big old pile up, and apparently a truck with animal remains spills over. So now we got rotting like gizzards and stuff like that from like chickens and whatnot. All just causing a big old thing. And the city of New York's not too fond of them right now. And Donnie says, kind of to make their humiliation situation even worse, they have to escape to Newark, New Jersey, which I thought that was kind of funny. I'm like, New Yorkers always taking jabs at people of New Jersey there. So the next morning, everybody's still processing their injuries and all that. And Donnie comes in, he's like, hey guys, I got breakfast, got a pizza. And they're like, you went up to the surface? Oh, yeah. Don't worry about it. Splinter was watching me the whole time. Mikey's like, yeah, about Splinter. And Donnie immediately cuts him off. He's like, yeah, it's such a joke. Remember that time you told us my father's dead and all that? Real funny. He's nothing but a dead rat. Yeah, funny joke. So he opens up the pizza. It's not looking too good right there. Looks even less savory right here. It's like, okay. And even Michelangelo's like, dude, that's fucking gross. And he's like, yeah, I know it's a little cold. But I got pepperoni on it, fungi, and I think that's blue cheese. I'm like, dude, okay, you're not helping you're not psychotic argument here. Raph is he's like, I don't have time for this pizza party. We just got our asses beat in our own city. We need to go take the fight to them. Mikey says, well, hey, that's it's not going to be a good look. Remember, us beating up cops and firemen? This is not good. Leo's like, you're right, we need to go seek out Karari and figure out what's what. Raph doesn't want to take any orders from Leo, and so he heads off on his own. And Leo's pissed. He's like, fine, I'll go find her myself. And so he takes off. This upsets Mikey. He's like, see, they abandoned me all over again. And then so he takes off. And there he goes. And so now it's just Donnie and Splinter. And he starts to think of things. Now, we cut over to District Attorney Hale, and he's being interviewed, and he's basically saying, "Hey, because of these events, we're going to have more Foot Clan out there. More patrols. We're going to make our city safe. These turtle vigilantes, these criminals, they're going to be, their reign of terror is going to end here." Because they also brought up the whole thing with Raph at the prison, and he's like, "Yep, we're gonna make sure to get it here." And so now he's no longer with the reporter; he's just talking to the other Foot Clan. He goes out and pulls it out, and he basically, the whole thing is, he's like, you need to end them. Go and stomp them out. And so we cut over to the rooftops. We see Mikey. He's over here watching it. He's like, who is this guy? Well, Mikey then realizes he's not alone, and the Foot Clan is like, "No, we own the rooftops, not you." Then we cut over to a little pet store. We see these fucking psychopaths are over here just destroying turtles in a pet store. You got little turtles all over the place. Probably not be able to see it too well on here, but yeah, there's like turtles being just beaten to death. This obviously pisses off Leonardo, but he is also approached by Foot Clan, and they're like, "Oh, you're looking for a fight? Well, here we are. We'll do it. Let's go." Then we cut over to the hospital where Casey has now been found by Raph. And Raph is super pissed to see Casey in this condition. And just then, some Foot Clan bust in on him. So all three of the ones that have left have now found fights with the Foot. Not just them. We cut over to April in her store. And yep, Foot Clan are there as well. They're like wanting to bring her in for questioning because she's a known associate of theirs. And she's like, "Hold on," and grabs for the hockey stick of Casey's there. And before anything can be done, a rat jumps out at one of the Foot Clan members. And this reminded me quite a bit of the 2011 run where we see how the Turtles came to be. We saw that Splinter did something similar to save April from the Foot Clan. And this led to how the Turtles came to be. So I was like, a little tribute right there. It at least looks like. April takes advantage of this and swoops out the Foot guy's legs, where a whole bunch of rats circle in. Now, it looks like we're being led to believe that this is somehow connected with Splinter, especially right down in here. We see like a little photo of Splinter right there. But yeah, April is confused by what the hell just happened with this army of rodents. And I also kind of wonder if this is, of course, not to do with the Rat King. Now, again, this does look to be a continuation of the previous series, and I don't know what became of the Rat King in that, so maybe I'm way off base on that one. Because, again, I haven't even met him where I'm currently at. Where I'm at in that series, Leo has been turned against his brothers. That's where I'm at there, for reference. But yeah, so I'm not sure if this is a Splinter thing or a Rat King thing. So just looking at it, I would lean more towards Rat King. But I mean, if he's like dead or something, then obviously I'm way off on that one. So we have more inner monologue of Donnie, just talking about his brothers and, how because they are fighting for the wrong reasons, they are losing. They have good intentions in mind for the most part, but because their judgment's clouded and they're not working together and fighting with anger in their hearts, this is why they're losing, why they're getting their asses beat. So all the brothers did manage to make their way back to Newark, and Donnie, he's trying to talk to them, and they're just not wanting to hear it. And Donnie's like, guys, no, seriously, we need to be working together. We can do this, but we got to put our differences aside. And Donnie brings up Splinter, and Mikey's like, hey, by the way, I've been meaning to tell you, I found Splinter. Look at him. He's alive. The one you've been holding is dead, so you can just cast that aside. Donnie's like, do I look stupid to you? I know that that's just some regular sewer rat and not Splinter. So Mikey throws it away. I was like, okay, dude, yeah. Whatever. And then, now, here's the part where Donnie starts to maybe get a little bit to his brothers here. Because he says, Mikey, I know while you were in Tokyo, you were lonely. Raph, I know while you were in prison, you were afraid that you were, of how much you liked it. And Leo, I know how much it pained you that you were not able to connect with the turtles of Ganges. And all of them were like, how do you know this? We haven't told anybody. And he says, I know this because you were not alone during these moments. And we see that the spirit of Splinter was with each of the boys. And I really like this moment here. Kind of reminiscent to me of the 1990 movie where they bring him back in the fire and they're able to communicate with him, even though he's not dead in that. I guess it's more or less the way he's lit in blue. That's part of what makes me think of this. And, he's like, yeah, you were not alone. Our father was there. He's been trying to speak out to him. Will you allow him to communicate with you? And then we cut over to a liquor store where we see either the clerk or the owner or whomever. He's being harassed by the Foot Clan. And they're basically trying to strong arm him, like, hey, if you want our protection, you're going to have to pay up for it. And, he's like, well, I've had no problems with the mutants. Why would I need protection? And he's like, oh, okay, well, watch. And they start to rob the place, where old Donnie decides he's going to go ahead and take in, and he starts beating on the Foot Clan there. And yeah, he's nice little shot of him. Just he's already taken out one, and the rest are ready to go. And the owner, he makes his getaway, and Donnie's like, 8 million and some odd, people left to save in the city after saving one. And that is where this issue ends. Now, I will say, okay, so another really strong entry here. This may have been the one. It was either 6 or 7 that got me to want to say, okay, I want to talk about this series on my channel, just because of how good this has been so far. It's been really, really strong. Donnie has been my standout character so far. His issue, like his solo issue, paired up with issue 6 and now 7. Those are very, very strong issues. I'm really liking his character quite a bit. Yeah, he's a little on the insane side, but he's got good intentions. You can definitely chalk up his insanity to his living conditions, or maybe even because of the events of things that I'm not fully caught up with yet. Because of that's how we first discover him, is he's kind of like talking about all of the effects of what took place prior to this series starting. So, but he is my standout character right now. He's not even my favorite turtle. He's probably like number 2 for me. Leonardo has always been my number 1. I can't see that changing. But Donnie, it's really nice to see that it feels like a lot of like newer stuff, especially in like movies, tend to like just treat Donnie like a goofball. They're like, oh, he's just got a stick. I'm like, Bowstaff's pretty fucking effective weapon. He's smart. Okay, so let's throw him in glasses. No, we don't do that. Stop making him a big goofball. Stop making him like be a nerd. He can be a nerd without looking like that. Like, you don't have to stereotype him into that. and put him in glasses or goggles or something. So it looks like he is getting some justification in this series, and I do appreciate that quite a bit. And he's always acting heroic. You know, he's like, I'm trying to save the people. I'm trying to win back the trust of the people. That's how we're gonna do this. And so I definitely appreciate this series so far. It's been very good, and again, I recommend this wholeheartedly. So, but that is all I have for today, guys. So until next time, take care and God bless.